Minecraft doesn't need you. Oh, he just changed the thumbnail. Okay, I see. Hold on. What the fuck? All images and media sources have been publicly recorded. Name sensitive. Okay.
Minecraft is a game of enormous creativity. The world is a canvas, the blocks are the paint, and the player is the artist. Yet the Minecraft world is not static. Even as the player does nothing, things happen in the world. Sheep eat grass, mobs spawn and die. Lightning strikes the earth and trees burn. Random events occur even without the player. The canvas has a life of its own. But what if there never was a player? What would happen if we let the Minecraft world run forever by itself? Random movements and events, unencumbered by the will of a human being controlling an avatar. Could anything interesting ever happen? Let's consider such a world. We won't worry about the obvious practical.
Oh shit! I did not even know this was like before Piglins and all. Or like during Piglins. I thought this was like before Piglins. Okay, so I don't know what's gonna happen here then. I have no idea.
Limitations of infinite time, such as processing power or memory concerns. We'll also assume that this is an environment where chunks are loaded, such as on a server. With that, the stage is set. We now boot up our world, and we watch. To begin, there's really not much to see. Animals walk around, villagers go about their routines, mobs spawn during the nighttime. The world is as we expect. Everything that we see is apparently no different to an average gameplay session. However, despite this mundanity, there.
Wait, what? What happened? What do you mean last stream? Are you okay? Yeah, I'm dying. No, I'm perfectly fine. I'm actually really good. It's just the last stream until October 1st. So literally, we're not streaming for the next 2 days. That's it. But October 1st is gonna be a very big stream. Very big stream. You're gonna want to tune into that.
There's one important result worth mentioning. With infinite time, mobs that move around could eventually move to whichever block we want. It doesn't matter how far away this block is, all that matters is that they have a path to it. Since mobs take random paths, their movement is predicated on a random number generator. If we generate enough times, we'll eventually get the correct sequence for wherever we want these mobs to go. Do we want to get a creeper on top of a jungle temple? Do we want a husk on a mountaintop? By rolling the dice enough times, this will eventually happen. Remember, time is not a problem here. We're not looking at what's likely. With an infinite amount of time, that doesn't matter. Instead, we're looking at what is possible. A skeleton taking a trek across the world to a certain block is possible, assuming it can find a path. In fact, we could have a group of 3 baby zombies on chickens travel from one world border to the other. Is this
Dog. Okay, like the one thing that got me about this the first time is that it's like this whole thing is like such luck based, but it's like luck based in the sense that like this could happen. Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh my, like I don't know. Like once this is like, oh, no, I don't even know. I don't even know what I'm saying.
Not even close, but it could eventually happen, and that's the key to this entire experiment. Yet, mobs moving around don't really do much. Sure, it's cool, but is it really interesting? Not so much. However, there is another mob that can do something that's much more unique than simply getting to faraway lands. This mob is going to prove to be one of the crucial building blocks for what we're going to do in this video. I am, of course, talking about the Endermen. Endermen are atypical in many ways. They're allergic to water, they show up in all 3 dimensions, and they can teleport.
Oh
But all
yeah.
of this pales in comparison to their most powerful ability. They can randomly pick up and place certain types of blocks.
Okay.
In a normal game of
Okay.
Minecraft, this is a minor annoyance. But have you ever played long enough on a world that there are many blocks that have been moved by Endermen? Seemingly wherever you go, you find random grass blocks, and at some point it starts to become a little bit annoying. Well, in our infinite time system, the Enderman could do exactly the same thing. However, we have so much time available that the Enderman could eventually construct almost arbitrary structures. The Enderman could randomly choose to make a pillar, construct patterns, or spell out text.
That says like no life. I'm a bit dyslexic, so I might be a little bit wrong, but it spells out no life. But also, this is making me think now, right? Because one of these days, I want to start my own Minecraft world, right? Where it's like, I don't know, it's like it'd probably be one like off camera, right? Like by myself, right? And then maybe one day I would do like a Minecraft world with like me and my girl, and then. Bro, Loki one day, this is like way off topic, but like Loki one day, I would so want to start a Minecraft world with like me, my girl, my kids. Like, oh my god. That is like some like it's like our own private world, like off camera, like no, it's just the fam, just the fam. That would be so lit. A Minecraft server? Oh my god.
They can also remove blocks and build using negative space. Their teleportation capabilities allow them to go through walls, assuming that there's a place for them to land. They look for open spots 32 blocks along each axis. This means that they can move vertically up or down into caves. As a result, the Endermen are able to get to a very broad range of locations. There are some limitations to the Endermen though. While they can dig a little ways down, they'll eventually hit stone. They cannot pick up stone blocks, so it effectively prevents them from further progress. They can also only place blocks on top of existing blocks. This means that there are certain structures that are not possible for the Endermen to construct, such as a bridge across the ocean. To do this would require the ability to place blocks on the side, which they cannot do.
That makes sense.
Nonetheless, the Endermen are capable of creating some very powerful things. For example, it's possible for an Enderman to make a snow golem. All they need to do is pick up a carved pumpkin from a pillager outpost, move to a snowy biome with 2 snow blocks already stacked, and then place the pumpkin.
People who pick post
No!
on campus and on
No! No! Okay, back to it.
That, a natural snow golem has been produced. Our new snow golem possesses the same traits as other mobs. It can move to wherever we want it to go, so long as there's a path. Yet the snow golem unlocks a new and powerful ability. They're aggressive towards hostile mobs.
Shooting.
In fact, they will actively seek them out and throw snowballs. While the snow golem can't damage most mobs, it does make them angry, and they'll retaliate by attacking the golem. It may not seem like much, but we've just discovered another powerful capability: arrows. If a snow golem attacks a skeleton, the skeleton might fire an arrow and miss. A normal arrow isn't that useful, but skeletons can spawn with enchanted equipment. If a skeleton has a flame bow, then it can fire a flaming arrow when it's annoyed by a snow golem. A flaming arrow will not light a block on fire, but what it can do is activate TNT. Remember, Endermen can pick up and place TNT blocks.
Oh,
so if we can discover a way for an Enderman to find TNT, then we'll open up a new capability in our infinite world. It is very rare that TNT blocks are naturally generated. The first place to look is in a desert pyramid. While an Enderman can teleport to their base, unfortunately there's no way for it to pick up the TNT. It's hidden beneath a layer of sandstone, a block that the Endermen are powerless to move. But there is one other place in the world where TNT blocks can be generated. There's a secret room in Woodland Mansions that looks like the End Portal. Within this room there are two—
No, bro, I thought he was going— okay, no, because I thought he was going with the desert temple. Whoa, no, he cooking. Hold on.
TNT blocks sitting out in the open. The Endermen can get here by teleporting, and they can pick up and move these blocks. Once placed, a snow golem can find its way to the block, anger a skeleton with a flame bow, and have the skeleton miss and hit the TNT. This blows the door of possibilities wide open. We can now produce an explosion almost at will. All we need to do is have this formula occur at the right location. Again, the odds of this are astronomically low.
Yeah.
Urban mansions are rare, and the room is even more so. But what matters is that it's possible. It can and will happen with enough time. However, there's a much simpler way to create explosions. If a snow golem attacks a creeper, then the creeper will retaliate and blow up. This is substantially more likely than the TNT trick. The major disadvantage to creepers is that explosions cannot be easily stockpiled ahead of time, a trait we will need later on. Regardless of which option we use, our capability for explosions allows the Enderman—
Why would you need to stockpile TNT? Like I would understand if you're trying to dig a hole or something. But like, why?
to dig below the surface. They can create a path to all—
like, okay, yeah, no, fuck me. I literally should just waited like 1 more second. That's all me. That's all me.
underground location. In terms of underground destinations, there is one that sticks out above the rest: the Stronghold. That's right, the Enderman can use explosions to make a path to the Stronghold, and more specifically the Portal Room. Now, most portal rooms will not be lit by default. The player is intended to find Eyes of Ender and place them. But there's a 1 in a trillion chance that the frame will be completely filled. And if we happen to be on one of these seeds, then the Enderman will have just created a path from the surface down to the end. There are several useful
Oh my god.
Consequences of this. First, Endermen can take blocks from the overworld to the end. They keep holding them even as they pass through a portal. Furthermore, other mobs can wander their way to the end alongside the Enderman. The portal is a one-way ticket, so whatever enters won't be able to leave. But we can get almost any overworld land-based mob into the end naturally. Anything that shows up in the end is going to find itself face to face with the Ender Dragon. And we're presented with a question. Is it possible for these mobs to somehow defeat the dragon? The first step is to destroy the regenerating end crystals on the pillars. Endermen can come from the overworld and build huge staircases.
What the
Then it's time
fuck?
for our favorite duo. The snow golem angers the skeleton, and the skeleton fires.
What the fuck? Yo, like, this in itself would take years. Years of simulating. Oh my god. Someone's gotta make a mod. Yeah, no, alright. I'm actually dead ass interested now. Someone out there has to make a mod where you can simulate a Minecraft world. Like, almost as if you can, like, watch it from, like, above. That would, like Sims. Like, it could be Sim Minecraft. Sim. Damn. I just figured out why they call it Sims. Alright, anyway.
Arrow that misses and destroys the end crystal. Repeat this for each pillar, and we've now got a dragon that doesn't regenerate. The next move is to find a way to inflict damage on the dragon. We're going to steal a trick from the speedrunning community and take care of it using explosions. Remember, we can place TNT and light it. All we need to do is have enough Endermen bring TNT from the overworld, and the snow golems and flamebow skeletons will light it off. Slowly but surely, the dragon will take damage, and eventually it will be defeated. Think about just how absurd this is. With the right random numbers, it is possible for the Ender Dragon, the final boss of Minecraft, to die with no.
So, in itself, it's a 1 in a trillion chance for just the portal. So you literally bare minimum odds, guys. Bare minimum odds. It's 1 in a trillion that you need to happen. You need that shit to happen, okay? Just so that you could get the fucking portal. Just so you get the portal to beat the game, okay? But then on top of that, you now need all this shit to happen. I just fucking fuck. Whatever, bro. Oh, wait. Did I? Never mind. Bro. So, like, you need all of this shit to happen. Like, all of this shit to happen at once. And if you don't, like, that's game. That's it. Like, you probably have better odds of getting struck by lightning. Actually, hold on. What are the odds of that? What are the odds to get struck by lightning? Less than 1 in... Oh, wait. The general odds are less than 1 in a million in a given year. Bro. You have astronomically better odds of getting struck by lightning than you do beating this... Oh my god.
It is possible for the Ender Dragon, the final boss of Minecraft, to die with no player intervention whatsoever. Will this ever happen? No, but the fact that it could happen is amazing. It's all just random decisions by the mobs, but if the decisions happen to align in a perfect way, these mobs can complete the main story of Minecraft. The Endermen, with a few allies, have freed themselves from the Ender Dragon. Who needs some outside player? But this is just the beginning. What else can these mobs do? To start, it's possible to drop the dragon egg as an item. All that needs to happen is one additional explosion. When it touches the egg, it drops and falls into the portal. Then, a fox in the overworld...
Granted, like, that's so crazy that, like, even for that TNT to explode, you would need the fucking, oh my god, you would probably need the TNT, like, you would need the Woodland Mansion to be right near the portal, and you would need a fuck ton of, you would need a bunch of, actually, I don't even think this really is possible, but maybe, right, because they would keep dragging the TNT eventually to the portal location, and then they could just put it in the portal, and then you would need a skeleton then to spawn in with an enchanted bow. What are the odds for a Minecraft skeleton to spawn in with an enchanted bow? Like, it less about, okay, so about 8 8.5% chance of them spawning in, okay? And then for it, no, you don't need to drop. But like, and then on top of that, what are the odds for it to be a flame enchant? You know what I mean? And then what are the odds that it fucking gets aggroed to a snow golem so that then it shoots in the right direction, bro? This is like this is mind-blowing.
World can pick it up. Is this useful? Not really, but look at it. It's a fox with a dragon egg. Is there any way to get off the main island? As we mentioned earlier, it's not possible for the Endermen to build a bridge over empty space, as they cannot place blocks on the side of other blocks. They also can't get through the end gateway since there's only one open block of vertical space. For now, it doesn't appear to be possible to get Endermen holding overworld blocks off the main island. So what else could we do in the overworld? It turns out that explosions are useful for another purpose, destroying chests. This lets certain loot items exist on the ground. One item that may be of use are Frostwalker boots. When equipped, these boots allow the user to walk across water by creating ice blocks. To make it more
Does that shit work on yo?
Interesting, there are some zombies and skeletons that spawn with the capability to equip armor. If a zombie picked up a pair of Frostwalker boots, then it would have gained the ability to place blocks on water, albeit temporarily. Let's say that this happens and the zombie walks its way over to an ocean monument. It can bring several Endermen with it, each holding sand. They can then place their sand on top of the ice. The ice will eventually melt and the sand will fall into the ocean below. If this is repeated enough times, they can create a sand pillar from the ocean floor to the surface. Eventually, they could completely bury a monument in sand. There would no longer be any water source blocks outside the monument. Then the Endermen could remove the sand blocks one by one, effectively draining the monument. Some well-placed explosions would give access to the interior, which could be drained by repeating the same method. Finally, the Endermen could finish off the Elder Guardians with even more TNT explosions. That's right, a monument could be defeated naturally. Oh, but we are not done just yet. There's another major challenge that we now must tackle.
If you say the
Now,
fucking wither, I swear.
World generation occurring. I should mention here that I'm not 100% certain if it could happen, so if there are any generation experts watching this video, I'd appreciate the input.
Wait, what do you ask?
100% certain if it could happen, so if there are any generation major challenge that we now must tackle, lighting another portal. Now this one relies on a specific type of world generation occurring. I should mention here that I'm not 100% certain if it could happen, so if there are any generation experts watching this video, I'd appreciate the input. Anyways, ruined portals are generated randomly throughout the overworld, and they are an incomplete version of a portal. There are several possible configurations. One of them is particularly useful. Ruined portal number 6 is almost complete, save for one missing block in the top.
No way.
If we can find a way to get obsidian onto this block, then we will have completed the structure of the frame.
No way.
Usually when a portal generates, it replaces the blocks in the immediate area, placing the portal in a small cave. But that isn't true when the portal generates in a desert. Instead, the portal is buried in the landscape. What needs to be generated is a ruined portal with no crying obsidian buried in the sand with a lava pool directly intersecting the top layer. This will give us a ruined portal that is nearly complete, with a lava source block in the final slot. If this were to occur, then the Endermen could build an aqueduct from a nearby water source and freeze the lava into obsidian. Next, the Endermen can close the aqueduct and clear up any cobble, probably using explosions. We now have a completed portal frame, but how can it be lit? Flame arrows do not work, so our TNT strategy is off the table. Lighting this is actually quite tricky. The obvious idea to try is lightning. On hard mode, a lightning strike will affect adjacent blocks, so a strike right next to the portal will light it. Remember though, our portal is in the desert. Since there's no rain in the desert, lightning will not strike. What about a drowned with a channeling trident? Unfortunately, as of 1.18.1, enchantments on a drowned trident don't work. Maybe this is a bug, but for now we're going to need to find another way. Could the Endermen make a path of flammable blocks and lead fire from a lightning strike elsewhere? Nope, the Endermen cannot pick up most flammable blocks.
Okay.
However, the Enderman can pick up TNT. TNT is a bizarre block. While it is flammable, it doesn't appear to be as useful because fire causes it to explode. Or so we would think. In a strange twist, fire can sometimes spread to it without immediately activating the explosion. So what needs to occur is the following. A TNT block must be placed adjacent to the portal. Then a nearby heat source must light it in such a way that it doesn't explode immediately and instead lights the portal. Then the Enderman must quickly move it out of the way before it does explode and undo all the hard work. It's an extremely precise sequence of events that must—
Will an Enderman, like, if it wanted to, can it pick up TNT that. Oh wait, no, because it'll be on fire and then light. Okay, before. Okay, I see. I see.
Occur in a
I see.
world with specific generation. But if all of that were to happen, we would find ourselves with a lit nether portal generated naturally. That's right, our randomly moving mobs have managed to create a connection between all 3 dimensions. Unfortunately, there isn't much to do in the nether. It's not possible to construct a wither, since Endermen cannot pick up and place wither skeleton skulls.
I was about to say.
What we can do, however, is bring nether mobs to the surface. While many mobs avoid nether portals, through entity cramming it should be possible to force them through if need be. A baby hoglin that goes through a nether portal will turn into a baby zoglin. The baby zoglin could find its way to the end portal. Since baby zoglins are less than 1 block high, it means that they can get into an end gateway. The Enderman will build a staircase, and they will stay far enough away.
No
a baby
way.
zoglin can work its way up to the gateway and enter. These gateways can sometimes lead to locations directly above end ships. If this were to be the case, then the zoglin would fall out of the portal and land onto a ship. As it moved around, it would eventually make its way inside the ship, where it would meet a shulker. Despite it being a baby, it would still attack the shulker. The shulker would eventually be killed, if not by a single zoglin, then by a few of them working together. So that's nice, but what about that elytra? Is there any way to get it off the wall? A snowball would do it, and so would an arrow, but remember, snow golems and skeletons are too tall to fit in the end gateway. However, there is a way to get a skeleton jockey into the gateway. If it's hit by a snowball, such as from a snow golem, then it can be pushed into the gateway and teleport, despite being too tall. Our jockey will land on the end ship and head down into the elytra room. The fiery zoglin will attack the jockey, and the skeleton will retaliate, firing arrows. A poorly placed arrow will hit the item frame, dropping the elytra on the ground. Once the fighting is done, a fox from the overworld will find its way into the end, come to the ship, and pick up the elytra. It can't use it, of course, but the game is as close as it can get to enjoying one of the great rewards for killing the dragon. We killed the dragon, picked up an elytra, defeated an ocean monument, all completely naturally.
Someone make a mod, bro. You gotta make a mod. Oh my god, to simulate. Holy shit, that would go so hard. That would go so insanely hard. Oh my god. Oh my god. That is insane. I'm truly at a loss for words right now.
This video is a thought experiment more than anything. The odds of things happening in these specific orders are incomprehensibly low. It's so low that it reaches the point of absurdity. The Minecraft example is similar to other thought experiments. It's analogous to the story of a monkey hitting random keys on a typewriter. Almost everything it will produce is meaningless gibberish, but given enough time, the monkey will one day type the complete works of Shakespeare.
That's true. That is true. Yo, that is insane though. That is actually insane. Oh my god.